what I'm interested in is the aspects of country music that speak to your life. That is
Oh
the
yeah.
reason why you were into it. You know what I mean? Because that's everybody has that connection, but it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was the stories. I grew up in a house where music was whatever you wanted it to be. My parents have the most amazing record collection, and there was it wasn't segregated. So like you could listen to Dolly Parton at the same time. Next, you put on Aretha Franklin, and my mom loved Patsy Cline and also loved Smokey Robinson,
Right.
and so it didn't feel weird to me until I got out into the wild world, and people were just like, "You like country? You listen to country?" So it just, for me, it was always the stories. I love the instrumentation. I don't know, it spoke to me viscerally.
Mm.
Like it just felt very natural. It felt very, if I was going to do this, this is the way I would tell my story, or this is the way that I would sing,
Mhm.
or I'm really very interested in this guitar
Right.
and how this sounds and how this all kind of comes together. And so it was a really natural, um, what's the word? Like it was a pull. I felt a pull. And for the longest time, once I got into regular school, into public school, and other Black kids were telling me, like, we don't listen to country music, I wanted so very much to be accepted. And I already loved hip hop and I already loved R&B and all that. And so I just dug in there. And then when I was at home, it was Nirvana and it was Trisha Yearwood and
Right.
Faith Hill and all that kind of stuff. And so I just, and then I started paying attention too to the videos. And I was like, there really aren't us. Because I didn't know about Linda Martell then, and I
Mhm.
didn't know, the history and that sort of thing. So I just was like, well, maybe we don't do that. Like, maybe that's not for me. Maybe there is a reason. And so I started to focus musically, and I would call it acoustic. I would say to what I was doing was, well, it's like acoustic. And they're like, what is that? The one very cool thing that my first managers did for me is they helped me identify it.
Mm.
And they were just like, they were two Black women and their specialty was hip hop.
Wow.
And so they found me when I was 17 and we went to go record in New York this demo that was just totally not me. And I had like this weave ponytail and a bustier and like all this stuff. And we were going to be like, I was going to be Beyonce before Beyonce. And then we're in the hotel one night and I had this little notebook that I used to write my songs in. And they asked me, what are you writing in this book? And I was like, I'm just writing my songs. And they were like, well, we'll sing us one of the songs. And I was like, well, this one I'm writing for Reba McEntire. And they both looked at each other and like, you wrote a song for Reba McEntire? And I'm like a 17-year-old Black girl from St. Louis. And they're
Right.
like, you wrote a song for Reba McEntire? I did. And I sang it for them. And they were just like, Rissi, you did that? And I was like, yeah. And they're just like, that's country. And I was like, yeah. You didn't tell us you did country. And I was, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just like, that's your thing.
Mm.
And they were the ones. They were
Wow.
encouraging and they made me not afraid.
This video raises questions, and I need for you to be extremely honest in the comments when answering them. And just so you know, I have 3 questions. Number 1, what does the representation of country music mean to you? Number 2, should certain people not be allowed in the country music genre? And number 3, why do you think some people find it strange that some people like country music? Now, please be honest when answering these questions. Share this video with anyone you deem necessary. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.